That night, I came home exhausted from work, ready to collapse on the couch. But the moment I walked in, I knew something was off. My wife sat perfectly still, no TV, no music, just waiting, like she'd been rehearsing this moment. "I'm pregnant," she said. My heart stopped. We'd talked about kids, but we weren't trying. Then she added, almost lazily, "But it's not yours." The room went silent. She watched me, waiting for me to fall apart. But I didn't blink. "I cheated," she shrugged. "It's been going on for a while, and honestly, I'm done pretending. I want a divorce." Her tone was so casual, like our life together was just an old phase she'd outgrown. Her lips curled into that smug little smile. "Honestly, it's better this way. I've met someone else. Someone I actually want a future with." And then, the final gut punch. "Oh, and you'll still need to pay alimony." "Excuse me?" I choked out. She waved a hand dismissively. "I sacrificed my career for this marriage, Will. I was a stay-at-home wife while you built your business. It's only fair." Fair? She cheated on me, got pregnant with someone else's child, and now wanted me to fund her new life? My fists clenched so tightly my nails dug into my palms. But I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything, I just smiled. "I understand," I said softly. "But just to be sure, let's get a DNA test." She laughed. "Seriously?" "Fine. Whatever helps. You sleep at night." She thought I was pathetic. She had no idea what was coming. In court, I hoped for justice. I had proof she cheated, proof the baby wasn't mine, proof she was living with another man. But when I saw her lawyer, polished, confident, the kind of guy who could convince a jury the sky was green, I knew I was in trouble. "Your Honor," her lawyer began, "my client was a devoted wife for 5 years. She sacrificed her career to support her husband while he built his business. Now she's left with no income, no financial stability, and no way to rebuild her life. We asked the court to grant her spousal support." I wanted to scream. She wasn't left with nothing. She chose not to work and had another man waiting for her. But none of that mattered. My lawyer did his best. "Your Honor, my client isn't refusing support. He's contesting long-term alimony to a woman pregnant with another man's child. We have documented proof of infidelity and cohabitation with another partner." For the first time, my wife shifted in her seat. She wasn't smirking anymore, but her lawyer was ready. "Your Honor, we live in a no-fault divorce state. Marital misconduct is irrelevant when determining spousal support." And just like that, I knew we'd lost. The judge sighed. "Mr. Daniels, while the court acknowledges the infidelity, state law doesn't consider it when determining alimony. What we do consider is financial need." But the story wasn't over yet, and my wife had no idea the storm that was coming. "Next, your wife had been financially dependent on you for the entire duration of your marriage. She had no job, no real income, and barely any financial resources. And yet, there she sat, perfectly composed, as the judge ruled in her favor. It would be unjust to leave her without means of support while she reestablishes herself," the judge said. "Reestablishes herself?" I almost laughed out loud. She had already reestablished herself in another man's bed. But the judge wasn't finished. "Given the length of the marriage and the financial disparity, I am granting her monthly spousal support. Mr. Daniels, you are ordered to pay alimony in the amount of—" I didn't even hear the number. The blood was rushing in my ears. I just sat there, stunned, as my ex-wife slowly turned toward me, and then she smirked. That smirk, I'll never forget it. The way she crossed her legs, her perfectly manicured fingers tapping the table like this, was just a minor inconvenience. When the ruling was finalized, we walked out of the courtroom in complete silence. I was still trying to process everything, when she let out an exaggerated sigh and stretched. "That was exhausting," she said. I ignored her. But she wasn't done. "For you, I mean, not for me." I clenched my jaw, refusing to take the bait. Then she pulled out her phone, right there in front of me, and called him her new boyfriend. "Hey, babe, it's done. The divorce went through. Yeah, I'm getting alimony." She giggled, glancing at me. "Told you he wouldn't fight back." That was it. That was the moment I decided she thought she had won. She thought I would walk away, defeated, broken, and forced to finance her new life while she played house with the man she cheated on me with. She thought she'd ride off into the sunset while I rotted in bitterness. She was wrong, because revenge isn't about anger. It's about patience. It's about strategy, and I had a plan. I didn't yell when she smirked her way out of court, flashing her victory smile like she'd just won the lottery. I didn't react when she sent casual texts reminding me that my first alimony payment was due soon. No hard feelings, right? Just the way things worked out. Hope we can be civil. Civil? My teeth almost cracked from how tightly I clenched my jaw. But I didn't reply. Because anger is predictable, and predictable men don't win wars. So I paid that first alimony check, on time, without complaint, and I waited. You see, my ex-wife was more than just religious. She was devout, a leader in her church, a voice of morality and virtue. She preached about loyalty and family values, hosted women's retreats on building strong Christian households. And that was her weakness, because while the law might not punish her for being a cheating, manipulative, gold-digging liar, her church would. I didn't make a scene. No, I did something far worse. One Sunday morning, I dropped off a sealed envelope at her church's front office, addressed to the pastor and the church elders. Inside, a certified copy of the DNA test proving I wasn't the father. Screenshots of her texts admitting to the affair. Proof that she was already living with another man while demanding alimony from me, and a letter, calm, respectful, explaining that, as a member of their congregation, I felt it was my duty to bring the truth to light. No drama, no accusations, just cold, hard facts. Then I walked away. The fallout was swift. The next Sunday, my phone blew up. "Dude, what did you do? The whole church knows it's bad." She just got pulled into the pastor's office. She's screaming at the elders. Then, she called me, again and again. By the 7th missed call, I finally picked up. "You sick freak!" she screamed. "You did this to me!" I leaned back in my chair, sipping my coffee. "I have no idea what you're talking about." "You sent them the DNA test. They know everything. My life is ruined. They called me an adulteress. They took away my church leadership. I can't even show my face on Sunday." Her perfect little Christian woman act, shattered, her moral high ground, gone, and it only got worse. A few days later, I got another text from a mutual friend. "Dude, her new man dumped her." I blinked at my phone. "Seriously? That fast?" Once the truth came out and she became a social outcast, he bailed, blocked her number, deleted her from social media, moved on like she never existed. She burned every bridge for that man, and now she had nothing. 2 weeks later, she caved. Late one night, I got a text. "I miss you. Can we talk?" I ignored it. A few days after that, "I was stupid. I made a mistake. I never meant to hurt you." Ignored that too. Then a phone call. I answered just to hear her break. "Will, I don't have anywhere to go. I lost my friends, my church. My baby's father left me." "Not my problem," I said. She choked out a sob. I just wanted to say I'm sorry." I smirked. "Cool. Good luck with your new life." Then I hung up and blocked her. Now you might wonder, I still have to pay her alimony. Doesn't that mean she wins? Not even close, I'm rich. Alimony is pocket change to me. And I just watched her entire life crumble while mine got better. So no, I didn't lose. She lost everything. And that was worth every penny. A fallen woman, the church elders, the same men who once praised her for being a devoted wife, and a pillar of the community held an emergency meeting about her moral failings. They didn't just scold her. They destroyed her. And the worst part? The whispers. Because while the church had an official punishment, the social punishment was far more brutal. The first Sunday after the scandal broke, she showed up to church like nothing had happened. Big mistake. People refused to sit next to her. Conversations stopped when she walked by. No one greeted her. Her best friends, the ones she used to gossip with, laugh with, host brunches with, turned their backs on her. She was officially a pariah. As if that wasn't bad enough, her parents were humiliated. Her family was deeply religious. Her father, a respected elder in the church. Her mother, a leader in the women's ministry. Now her father refused to even look at her during service. Her mother wouldn't return her calls. Her younger siblings were ashamed to be seen with her. Their entire family name was tarnished, and she had no one to blame but herself. If she thought she could turn to her new man for comfort, she was in for a rude awakening. The moment her reputation tanked, he ghosted her. She tried to reach out. He ignored her texts. She showed up. At his place, he refused to answer the door. Eventually, she sent a mutual friend to ask why he was avoiding her. His response? I didn't sign up for all this drama. She's on her own. Just like that, he was gone. The man she threw her marriage away for dropped her the moment things got inconvenient because she wasn't just involved in church. She worked at a private Christian school. And when word got out, parents complained. Administration held a meeting, and 2 weeks later, she was let go. Officially, they cited budget cuts. But we both knew the truth. No one wanted a known adulteress teaching their children about faith. Our ex-wife had a full-blown breakdown after service one day. Someone had whispered adulteress as she walked past, and she snapped. She started screaming at people in the church parking lot, calling them hypocrites. Then she broke down crying and stormed off in her car. The next week, she called me for the first time in months. Her voice didn't have that smug tone anymore. She sounded hollow. Will, I don't have anywhere to go, she whispered. I said nothing. My parents barely speak to me. My church has abandoned me. I lost my job. She sniffled. He left me too. There it was. The realization that she had gambled everything and lost. The final consequence of her own choices. I was stupid, she said through tears. I should have never done this to you. Finally, I cut her off. I don't care. Silence. Then, in a quiet, broken whisper, Are you happy now? I took a deep breath, and then I said, No. Because the truth is, no one wins in a story like this. There's no victory in watching someone destroy their own life. There's no satisfaction in seeing someone isolated, humiliated, and broken. What happened was a tragedy for both of us. And even though she brought it on herself, I can't take joy in someone else's pain. The real lesson? Choices have consequences. But so does compassion. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away with your dignity intact, without letting bitterness take root in your heart. In the end, revenge might feel good for a moment, but peace lasts far longer.